Hi, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. This is a little bit of a different video for us here. It's not a video I really planned on making, but I've received a lot of questions and comments about it, so we're going to jump into what's going on with GOEX and what I think about it. So because I know that seeing GOEX in a YouTube video right now is going to make people think that there's some updates or kind of kick this back up, I want to say that there's no official news here yet on what's going on with GOEX, apart from what we heard a couple weeks ago on the I Love Muzzleloading podcast, talking with Aaron Oelger from the Hodgdon Powder Company. Speculation continues to kind of run rampant on things. I'm doing my best to only cover what we see as kind of, defined, documented, hard line, like this is official, so we don't go down any rabbit holes about this. I think it's a serious enough situation for the community and the sport that I don't want to contribute to that. If you do, that's fine. I get it, but this is going to be a little bit to the side of that, I think. So in case you somehow didn't know, and if you didn't know, you've been living your life probably in a good way. You've been out in the woods or in a cave or something. But in late September, Hodgdon put out a press release that they're going to be shutting down the GOEX Black Powder Company, and they're going to be listing it for sale in an attempt to find somebody to continue the brand so that muzzleloading enthusiasts can still have traditional American-made black powder. As of today, as of this week, as of recording here, there's been no updates on that, which in one way is good because they haven't said that they haven't found anybody, but in another way, a lot of us are still kind of concerned because they haven't found somebody. There's not been an announcement or anything. So I'm asking everybody in the comments and things to continue to share your support for the GOEX brand. I understand the frustration. Believe me, I'm right there with you on being concerned about where this puts us. I'm kind of taking inventory of my supplies and powder. But I think we need to stay positive and show support for GOEX. On one hand, to show a potential buyer that we need their product, we want it, and we're going to buy a lot of it. But two, to keep a little pressure on Hodgdon maybe here to sell it. We don't want them to get down the road here and say, it's not worth it to try to sell it, we're just going to shut it down. That would really be the worst possible outcome. That is not what they're saying. We have no indication of that, but I want us to kind of think in that mindset that if we're positive and we show people that this is what we want and what we need, maybe somebody will step up and say, hey, there's a customer base that wants what I could make if I simply buy this brand and the facility. That'd be super cool. Hodgdon put out a press release, I believe on September 27th, that they would be closing and trying to sell the GOEX Black Powder brand. I received that email and that notification on my way to dinner, and it was really kind of heartbreaking. It was really kind of crushing after the stellar 2 years really that muzzleloading has had. Really kind of the last thing I expected to see this year after 2 years of stellar muzzleloading growth was Hodgdon exiting the traditional black powder space. I was really right there with a lot of the comments that I was seeing about what's this going to do for us? Does this mean that other companies, other large companies, are going to exit without this other, major player, major corporate entity support for the traditional side of things? And I got really, really bummed out. Seeing all of you get excited about muzzleloading here with all the other videos out there, and with the small group of you that are here watching, I really hated the idea that maybe this wasn't going to last any longer. But so the next morning I woke up, and I woke up really early. My stomach kind of hurt about it. I looked online, there wasn't any news, but there were a lot of people upset and angry. And I really wanted to try to see what we could do to try to bring us all together for a cause of keeping GOEX and saving GOEX. And so I started the saveGOEX petition on change.org. I think right around 7 or so that morning on the 28th. It would be the Tuesday after that press release. And I went to work. Had a pretty busy day at work, but continually my phone kept dinging and dinging and dinging. And I think about by 9 or 10 o'clock that morning, the petition had 3,000 signatures, which was incredible. And I really can't thank all of you enough. Right now the petition is over 5,000 and continues to grow every day. Now, stepping back to the 28th though, it was about 11 a.m. that morning where I received an email from the Hodgdon Powder Company requesting to talk about the petition And it was really kind of short, you know, so I exchanged phone numbers and talked to Aaron over the phone there for the first time that Tuesday morning, just about the petition, you know, about trying to rally support for the brand. And in the phone call I had with Aaron that morning, I explained, you know, that this isn't, you know, an attempt to corral or press upon the Hodgdon Powder Company in any way. The petition is primarily a means for the community to show support for the GOEX brand, so that we can help find a buyer, to help show a buyer that there is a customer base for this product. We need it. We've got to have it. And after hearing that, he agreed to come on the podcast and answer some of your questions that I'd seen asked online about the situation. So it kind of lined up that after that interview with Aaron, you know, kind of the mixed reaction to it online, which I totally understand. I did a black powder muzzleloading demonstration here in my area, and I took my Kibler Southern Mountain Rifle and took a few shots, showed some people, talked about the history of muzzleloaders with people that were, some that were familiar with firearms, and then some that had no experience at all with firearms, and got to the point with them where we let them load and take a few shots with the rifle, and it was seeing their smiles and their excitement and their intrigue that really revitalized my attitude on this. The night that the press release came out, like I said, it was really kind of gutting, and seeing the smiles and the happiness of these people that are totally new to guns, totally new to muzzleloaders, especially, to be shooting a flintlock and to be hooting and hollering and smiling like I imagine I did at Christmas morning, you know, when I'm 5 years old. It really put the fire back in my belly, so to speak, that, you know, I'm not going to give up. We can't give up on this. We have to rally here and try to make something happen. So, fast forward now to today. We're in late October as I'm recording here, and like I said at the beginning of the video, we don't have a whole lot of news. Now, Tamby Dudley at Swiss and Schuetzen Powder down in Texas has said the past few weeks that Swiss and Schuetzen are going to work day and night here to try to produce as much powder as they can for us here in the United States to keep us shooting traditional real black powder. But there are a lot of concerns on that. You know, not getting into it too much, but we just saw the ban on Russian imported powder here in the United States, and there's been a lot of correlations drawn between Russian ammo and black powder, that with a stroke of a pen in Washington, we could be cut off from a black powder supply. And, you know, constitutionally, that I hate that notion, but then also as a general muzzleloading enthusiast, I hate that notion, because then we're kind of stuck with what we have here, and we got to see how that plays out. Some other kind of side news that has come out about this: most of the major black powder distributors in the country have now limited the amount of powder that you can buy at any given time. Most of the GOEX master distributors that I've talked to and visited their shops and or their websites have limited you to 1 pound of powder. I know the NMLRA has their own powder magazine there where they sell powder to NMLRA members. They have stopped powder sales until they get an idea of what's going on here, so they can try to ration this powder to muzzleloading enthusiasts. And that's the same mindset we're seeing across the country right now. Several folks have reached out to Graf and Sons about what this means for their powder. If you didn't know, Graf and Sons powder was made by Hodgdon and GOEX. I believe an official statement they put out to a few folks here online is they're just not sure what's happening right now. I have to assume, this is just speculation here, that their contracts would be wrapped up in with the GOEX purchase if and when that does happen. So, you know, if you're looking to Graf and Sons here to pick up some powder after GOEX, I don't know if that's going to happen right now. If you are looking for powder, Tamby Dudley at Swiss and Schuetzen, like we've talked about here, has said that they have more shipments of powder already inbound. About a week after the news broke about Hodgdon and GOEX, Tamby announced that they had another shipment on the way. I think she said 6 to 10 weeks from the end of September it would be here in the United States. So if you're looking for traditional black powder, you can visit the Swiss or Schuetzen US websites. They have a big list of their distributors. Be patient though. It's a small shop down there in Texas. If you can send an email, I think Tambi has asked, it's a lot easier for them to get through all the emails. Their phones have been ringing kind of non-stop. So follow them online, sign up for their email list, or visit their website. They're doing a great job of keeping us informed of when they're going to have powder in stock and when they can get it out to their distributors so that we can get our hands on it. There've been a lot of concerns about powder hoarding. You know, I can't blame anybody right now for purchasing powder. I think early on I didn't necessarily believe it was going to be as bad as it could be here. You know, I understand grabbing the powder that you can when you can. You know, there's no hard feelings there for me. I do ask, though, that if there is a new muzzleloading enthusiast near or around you looking for powder, you know, maybe consider sharing some with them or walking them through the process a little bit, just so we can get some more people hooked here. The last thing I want out of this news is for the muzzleloading community to turtle up and shut off from the outside new blood that we really need in the community and the sport. So, you know, as always, if you can share muzzleloading and your enthusiasm for it, please do, no matter the situation that we find ourselves in now. I have all the faith in the world in Tambi and Schuetzen. They make great powder. My main concern, though, is that, you know, GOEX was the only black powder made here in the United States. And to think about black powder not being manufactured here in the United States, it's a really weird feeling. I mean, this is a substance, a chemical compound that aided us in generating the most free country in the world. It helped us beat back a world superpower as a ragtag band of rebels here. And to think that a couple hundred years later now, we're not going to make that powder here in the United States. You know, I think that night that I read the press release, that's what really kind of got me at my core. Like, is this it? And waking up that next morning, I decided I wasn't going to complain. I wasn't going to be upset or angry about it. I wanted to act. I wanted to do something. To be honest with you, I'd really hoped that the growth and the interest that we've seen in muzzleloading the past couple years would have extended into GOEX black powder. I know there's a lot of history there with that company and some of the other dealings, some of their other major customer bases, mainly being the U.S. military. I don't have any hardline facts on any of that. You know, I have to take Aaron at his word here that they didn't see any growth. Now, it's honestly, to be honest with you, it's really hard to believe that, but I get it. When you look at the ease of distribution, the ease of manufacture for the black powder substitutes, and the ever-growing hunting industry, exclusively hunting. I'm not talking about firearms outside of hunting season, really the 4 or 5 months out of the year that people are going out and hunting game with their firearms of any choice, you know, especially with the COVID lockdowns in 2020, exponential growth there. I mean, incredible growth there. So, you know, as much as I want that growth to be there with traditional black powder, and I think it is to a certain degree, I understand Hodgdon wanting to focus on their smokeless powders for precision and hunting, you know, precision shooting sports and hunting sports, and then also, you know, bringing their muzzleloading side into that. Now, you can love black powder substitutes, you can hate them. It's not really what this is about. The bottom line is Hodgdon has made this decision and they're going with it. I hope that we see the other muzzleloading manufacturers that are still producing traditional muzzleloaders, especially to scale, mainly being traditions here. I hope that we see them continue to do so, and I have no reason to think that they won't. But it is kind of shaking, I think, and continues to shake us here in the muzzleloading community, you know, until we see what's going on. As we head into November here, the clock is ticking. Really 2 months here. Hodgdon said December 31st, they're done. You know, if it's not sold, it's shut down, it's done. So I think what we as a community can do, and what I would like to see us do, is continue to promote our love of traditional black powder and GOEX specifically as an American-made black powder brand. Like I said, nothing against some of the other black powders that we see out there, but really this comes down to having in-country made, in-country produced black powder to service American black powder enthusiasts. As it stands now, the saveGOEX petition has passed 5,000 signatures. The next goal for us is 7,500. So please share the petition with your friends. I know that there are industry representatives out there that have seen this petition. I know that they're talking about it. If we can continue to promote and sign that, increase those numbers, more and more people are going to take notice, because I know they are taking notice of that number as it climbs. Now, with that petition, I need to preface though, change.org asks for donations to fund the website. That is not associated with this campaign. You don't have to give them any money. You don't have to sign up for email updates. None of the money that you may donate to change.org goes to saveGOEX. I don't see any of that. That exclusively goes to the change.org website to pay for their maintenance and hosting and things. So I know there was some confusion about that early on, and I tried to make that clear in the documentation when I saw that confusion kind of coming up. If anybody from Hodgdon or GOEX is watching, I'm really kind of looking at you right now and really asking that you please find a buyer for this. We really need to have GOEX continue here for American muzzleloaders and black powder enthusiasts. Apart from muzzleloading, a lot of the information that I've seen just on the interview that we did with Aaron out there, there's a lot of other sub-communities out there that need this black powder, and muzzleloading being the largest, which I never thought of traditional muzzleloading, being a large segment of the population. But when it comes to using traditional black powder, we're kind of the big brother here on the block, and it comes down to us to do our best here to try to continue this, to try to get this brand the attention it needs so that we can get a buyer lined up here. So if you're at Hodgdon and you're listening to this, or you've heard about this, please find a buyer. Please take an offer. We really need this to continue here. On that note, if you are a potential buyer here for GOEX and you've seen kind of what the community is about here, and you've seen this outreach and you're considering buying, please go down that route. Please reach out to Hodgdon and let them know, please don't close. We want to put in an offer or whatever it takes. It's way over my head when it comes to business speak here, but if you're interested and you want help or you need help, I will give any buyer of GOEX that is promising to continue what we have and grow it for the traditional muzzleloaders out there, I'll give you 2 years free marketing, free consulting, free time. I'll give you anything that I can here so that we can see this going. I know that I'm not a big firm here. I can't promise anything, but I've learned a lot about the community, and I want to help. So if you're out there and you need some help, please reach out. Please let me know. Even if you just want to know more about it, I'll tell you everything I know. I'll tell you it all for free. It's not any guarded information or anything. But I have a lot of information, a lot of data that could do somebody that's looking to purchase GOEX a lot of good. So if you're out there, please contact me. This is too important for us to just be angry on the forums and give up. I just can't do that. That's why I started the petition. That's why I'm making this video now. There's a lot of people out there that really depend on this. And I can't be 80 years old and tell my grandkids that there used to be this cool thing that won us our independence called muzzleloading and muzzleloading firearms, and when the last powder company shut down, we just gave up. I just can't do that. Muzzleloading has a bright future in the United States and around the world, and it starts with you, somebody out there purchasing GOEX, so that we can continue this great sport. There's a lot of customers out here ready to throw you money, ready to show you support. Please consider purchasing GOEX and help us out. Like I said, if you want to talk shop, I've got several years here of free time I'll give you to see this continue. So I hope this gives you some insight, I guess, into how I was feeling about it. You can tell I get a little worked up about it, which is why I haven't talked about this a whole lot. It's really near and dear to my heart, and it's really weighing on me right now. That we don't know anything. Every day I talk to muzzleloading enthusiasts that are just now getting into it and they're excited. Just this last weekend I met probably a dozen that have been into it for less than 5 years, and again, just like seeing those people shoot that flintlock for the first time, it energizes me but you know, not knowing what's happening here with GOEX is really weighing on me. So if you've gotten this far, thank you for watching, and we got more normal videos coming. This is just something that you've been asking for, and I hope it made sense. So I'm Ethan, I love muzzleloading. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn about this or anything else related to muzzleloading, please visit ilovemuzzleloading.com. It's a passion project here. We're not asking for anything but your support for the GOEX brand here in this video, so we can see it passed on. And again, if you're at Hodgdon and you're in charge of anything, please find a buyer for this. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.